An Azure storage account is a secure account which provides you access to services in Azure storage. The storage account is like an administrative container, and within that, we can have several services like blobs, files, queues, tables, disks, etc. And when we create a storage account in Azure, we will get the unique namespace for our storage resources. That unique namespace forms the part of the URL. The storage account name should be unique across all existing storage account name in Azure. Types of performance tiers. Standard performance. This tier is backed by magnetic drives and provides low-cost GB. They are best for applications that are best for bulk storage or infrequently accessed data. Premium storage performance. This tier is backed by solid-state drives and offers consistency and low latency performance. They can only be used with Azure Virtual Machine disks and are best for I/O-intensive workloads such as the database. So every virtual machine disk will be stored on a storage account. So, if we are associating a disk, then we will go for the premium storage. But if we are using storage account specifically to store blobs, then we will go for standard performance. Access tiers. There are 4 types of access tiers available. Premium storage. Preview. It provides high-performance hardware for data that is accessed frequently. Hot storage. It is optimized for storing data that is accessed frequently. Cool storage. It is optimized for storing data that is infrequently accessed and stored for at least 30 days. Archive storage. It is optimized for storing files that are rarely accessed and stored for a minimum of 180 days with flexible latency needs on the order of hours. Advantage of access tiers. When a user uploads the document into the storage, the document will initially be frequently accessed. During that time, we put the document in the hot storage tier. But after some time, once the work on the document is completed, nobody generally accesses it. So it will become infrequently accessed document. Then we can move the document from hot storage to cool storage to save the cost, because cool storage is built based on the number of times the document is accessed. Once the document is matured, i.e., once we stopped working on that document, the document becomes old. We rarely refer to that document. In that case, we put it in cool storage. But for 6 months or 1 year, we don't want the document to be referred to in the future. In that case, we will move that document to archive storage. So hot storage is costlier than cool storage in terms of storage. But cool storage is more expensive in terms of access. Archive storage is used for archiving the documents into storage, which is not accessed. Azure Storage Replication. Azure Storage Replication is used for the durability of the data. It copies our data to stay protected from planned and unplanned events, ranging from transient hardware failure, network or power outages, and massive natural disasters to man-made vulnerabilities. Azure creates some copies of our data and stores it at different places. Based on the replication strategy. LRS, Local Redundant Storage. So, if we go with the local redundant storage, the data will be stored within the data center. If the data center or the region goes down, the data will be lost. ZRS, Zone Redundant Storage. The data will be replicated across data centers but within the region. In that case, the data is always available within the data center, even if one node is not available. Or we can say that the data will be available also if the entire data center goes down because the data is already copied in another data center within the region. However, if the region itself is gone, then you will not get the data access. GRS, Global Redundant Storage, to protect our data against region-wide failures. We can go for Global Redundant Storage. In this case, the data will be replicated in the paired region within the geography. And in case if we want to have read-only access to the data that is copied to another region, then, in that case, we can go for RAGRS, Read Access Global Redundant Storage. We can get different things in terms of durability, as we can see in this table below. Storage account endpoints. Whenever we create a storage account, we will get an endpoint to access the data within the storage account. So each object that we stored in Azure storage has an address, which includes your unique account name and the combination of an account name and service endpoint, which forms the endpoint for your storage account. For example, if your general purpose account name is my storage account, then generally the default endpoints for different services looks like Azure Blob Storage, Azure Table Storage, Azure Queues Storage, Azure Files.